the overall trial. Let's talk about this for a minute. So, all the transcripts are out there. Many people are going over the transcripts and seeing all the questions. Now, we all know that Cassie sued Diddy. She got the money, right? They settled the next day. And then, not that long after that, the Fed swooped in and snatched him up, and this trial happened. So, thus far, I feel like people were not scrutinizing Cassie about being in the relationship with Diddy so much then, but it seems like now everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
So, for her to be in a relationship for so long, I think the scrutinism that she's getting, there's two sides to it. I'm not saying it's just men and women, but there's two conversations going on. One conversation is just reiterating how much of a victim she is,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another conversation like, how much of a victim was she really?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
what do you think as far as someone being in a relationship so long? Because I know that she was abused. There's no question that she was abused,
Mm-hmm.
but being in a relationship for that long and going back, I mean, what do you think? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, okay, so she was very young when they got
Hmm.
into the relationship, so I can understand how we can go so far being that young. I can
Hmm.
even see like 5 years being that young.
Yeah, 'cause she was
Yeah,
19
she was
when they got together.
19. Yeah, so I can even see 5 or 6 years. I mean, shoot, your brain isn't really fully developed as an adult until the age of 23 or 25.
Right.
So, when you're in a manipulative and abusive relationship like that, it doesn't surprise me that it went on at least that long. I can even say maybe even longer.
Hmm.
But at the time where she did leave and then came back,
Right.
that would be like, why? For me, I'm like, why would you come back to that?
Right.
Because I believe after the hotel video where
Yeah,
he
because
was
that hotel
basically
video
dragging
happened in
her,
2018, I want to say.
apparently the bodyguard, not the bodyguard, one of the not a lobbyman, but someone who
Yeah,
security. There we
security.
go.
Yeah, yeah, at the hotel.
Yeah, at the hotel, he testified and basically said, he was kind of there because people were complaining. Other people on the floor,
Hmm.
people staying at the hotel were complaining about like a man and a woman arguing. So he came up to the floor and was basically there and escorted Cassidy.
Not
Cassidy.
Cassie. Cassidy. Cassidy's a rapper. I hope he didn't escort Cassidy. The rapper would be very offended by you. Uh,
Sorry, Cassidy.
not Cassidy. Cassidy's a rapper from Philly,
So he
but
he
Cassie.
escorted Cassie and Diddy to the room so she can get her stuff. She
Yeah.
wanted to get her stuff, and apparently, the bodyguard, the security man, said that Diddy told her, "No, you're not going anywhere."
Hmm.
And he said, the bodyguard, you know who I'm talking about, said, "If she wants to go, she can go."
Hmm.
So once he escorted her out, I think she was away from Diddy for like 2 years,
Hmm.
and
Oh,
then
that
and
time.
yeah, at
Okay.
that time, and then if it was like so bad, it's like
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
go back?
Right. 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 Right.
She has. I'm assuming that she had family and friends to support her, but that would be my only question. Like, why go back? I mean, once you're a victim of that kind of abuse, who knows what kind of mental holds,
Yeah.
people or he has had over her. So I don't know. I can never be able to even sympathize or empathize in that aspect because I've just never
Been through that.
been through that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you on that,
I can
but
sympathize, but I just can't put myself in her situation because mentally you just never know why you would go back to your abuser. There's a lot of things.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um
women do go back to their abusers, and I,
yeah.
I know that is something that people go back to their abusers. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Even, children who've been abused
Yeah.
miss their abuser. But the thing about it is that I think where she's getting the scrutiny now is like it's the money. So
Mm,
she talks about in the testimony how Diddy would get mad and be like he just take away stuff, like take away her car or take away just items. You know what I'm saying? Her personal belongings. And the thing about it is that yeah, she was young, but it's about the choices you make as far as who you put in your life.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? And I think that I sympathize with her or empathize with her as someone who's abused, but at the same time, what's really keeping her there? I don't think it's about being in love.
mm,
I think it to me it was about the lifestyle. She
mhm,
had her first album. I don't think she came out with a second album, but I don't think she had. I was telling you earlier, I don't think she had the money to continue to live that lifestyle.
yeah,
In the testimony, they talk about how he had gotten her apartment on like
mm,
64th and West End, middle of Manhattan, basically. That's expensive. And then he had an apartment on Broadway in 60 something. So he had an apartment for her close. Who knows? That's probably, I don't know. Back then, I mean, I don't know, $8,000 a month, something
yeah,
crazy. Nothing light. Probably more than that. Because I'm sure it wasn't a tiny one bedroom.
yeah,
Probably a really nice apartment.
mhm,
So it's the lifestyle. And then he paid for all that, and her whole life she was taken care of.
yeah,
She was with him while he was with Kim Porter too.
mm,
So my thing is that I don't think she was able to separate herself from the lifestyle. She didn't
mm,
follow him to California to live with him as he got closer to, he wanted to live closer to his kids. So I think that
I can see where the scrutiny is. She was following the money.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
lifestyle.
that's
People don't want to leave that lifestyle. I
mhm,
mean, it's easier to leave somebody who's broke.
yeah.
Somebody who's somebody who's whooping your ass who's broke. It's a lot. I think it's a lot easier for a
It's
woman to
a
be like,
lot
I'm
easier to
good.
leave under those
Yeah,
circumstances.
yeah. Like
Oh, yeah.
if they were living in a one bedroom apartment struggling, I don't think she's sticking it out for 10
Yeah,
years,
she got no reason to.
But when you own yachts and you living that whole life,
The
but
lifestyle, man. Oh, but at some point you got to be like, I don't know. To me, it's like self-respect. Self-respect. If you don't respect yourself, you can't expect anybody else to. So,
yeah, you gotta
I
make it. You
mean,
gotta make decisions about how you want your life to be. And
yeah.
so then with the whole freak off, she goes into the details about the freak offs. Man, she was saying some wild stuff, man. Diddy is surely bisexual. That's his choice. It is what it is. But the stuff he had her doing,
Mm.
um, but I think he's just a freaky dude. I don't see where the sex trafficking thing is coming into play
Yeah,
yet.
see, that's what I don't understand, the sex trafficking, because this whole case is because of that, right?
Right.
It's supposed to be because of that, him being charged with sex trafficking. Based on what's already come out, I don't see how they can connect, a man who's physically abusive to women,
Mm.
obviously, a man who has way kinky, freaky, dicky
Freaky
types,
deaky ways.
freaky dicky ways.
Freaky. Yeah.
I don't know how you can, hiring male prostitutes to have sex with Cassie and, hiring
He was
people to
doing
do,
some
yeah,
wild
and
stuff.
just doing wild
He was
stuff.
he was
I
just
mean, if the reports out there, y'all can easily
you
look it
know
up.
what he
I
was
looked it
doing
up
though?
this morning. Yeah,
I don't even
like,
want to. I don't want to repeat it on this podcast
you know
because
what
it's
it
so
yeah, it's
it's so
disgusting.
deplorable.
Yeah, it's so disgusting. It's
But
so
he
disgusting.
basically.
Don't say it.
I
Don't say
gotta
it.
say it now.
No, you don't.
Part of it.
No, you don't.
I gotta say it.
It's out there. It's
Nah,
out
I
there.
just gotta say this part. I got to. It's so disgusting.
So the mount and
No, no. It was apparently when male prostitutes would finish. Uh, Cassie would.
what?
Cassie would rub the finish on Diddy's nipples. That's what I that's what I heard from the testimony. Like, yo, no. When I heard that the other day, I was like, yo. I mean, how do you get that freaky? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you get that freaky? Like, yeah, it's like I don't even know, man. He's
I think there's
different
something much
level.
more diabolical than that.
I mean, I'm sure, but that one
There
was
is
weird.
something
It was
much
just
more
weird to
diabolical.
me in the spectrum of freakiness, that one was weird to me. I'm like,
It
yo,
is
why
weird.
are you doing that? What are you doing?
It's his shit, man. That's what he likes to do. But that's
Stand,
not
man.
trafficking.
True that.
Yeah.
It's not trafficking.
It's not
Now,
trafficking.
now,
If they trying to find trafficking charges on this man, I don't know how they find it because these testimonies so far has not indicated anything near trafficking. He just had a lot of sex parties with a lot of freaky deaky shit going
it's
on
called swinging.
and swinging and then some apparently. And he's a physically abusive to women. That's all we've heard so far. So there has been no testimony on seeing people like I don't even know what that would look like, but usually, like you had mentioned earlier, when there's a sex
Yeah.
trafficking
Sex.
thing going on, there's a whole
When I
ring.
think about sex
A lot of people
trafficking,
are
when
involved.
I think about sex trafficking, I think about what do they call those? Not passenger vans. No, I know,
Oh,
but what's those vans they call the big vans that park next to
white man.
those big white vans? They're not called.
Utility?
They're not utility vans, not passenger vans. They're called I don't know, transport vans, whatever they're called. Those big, you know what I'm talking about? Those big
Yeah,
white
big white
vans
vans
that
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 women should never be
that women
parking
should
to
never be parked to in a parking
in a
lot,
parking lot.
and they and
No.
they pop and they pop up, and then you're basically kidnapped and you're held somewhere against your will to have sex, and and those people who are holding you have clients who pay to have sex with you.
Right.
That's what I understand as sex trafficking.
Right.
Um, Sex traffickers don't get to go home. They don't have free will to go home on the weekend. So I don't know how they're going to tie that together, but I think they just wanted to get Diddy. I think that
Yeah, I think they just wanted to get him.
he's a big fish to catch if you're a prosecutor. So, and these are federal charges, so I think they're trying to do some type of RICO thing. But here's the thing for me, I was saying earlier, if it's sex trafficking, ain't no one person physically going to be able to control a sex trafficking ring. So I want to know who his co-defendants are.
Yeah.
Who are the people being charged with him? Because I haven't heard of anybody else
Yeah.
being charged
Yeah.
for this trafficking. So I gotta wonder if there's really a case. Because Cassie's testimony is not. I don't. It doesn't make me think sex trafficking ring. It just makes me think about the wild stuff that she admitted.
Stuff that
You
they've
know.
done together, you know? It's just that maybe not willfully on her part, but just how it went down behind those doors. That's the freaky stuff. That's all I'm hearing. So,
Well, is it possible? And I know people are gonna, especially women are gonna flame me for
um,
saying this. Is it possible that she welcomed any of that? She welcomed it or enjoyed any of it? Is it possible? Because she says that she was high on coke and different things. So what I'm trying to say is it possible that Cassie was okay with the freaky lifestyle, at least initially, and then it got crazier and crazier? So
yeah.
it could have started with a threesome. It could have
Apparently
started,
it got worse when he moved to California.
right. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But is it possible that they started off just doing, threesomes or foursomes or whatever, and then it
Maybe.
got crazier and crazier and crazier, you know? And here's the thing: where was Cassie's daddy, man? Where's your daddy and your cousins and all of them?
Yeah.
Because
Being
listen, man,
19 years old, dating someone who was what, 30?
I think he was 30. He was 37.
37 at the
Yeah,
time, going on 40. Somebody should have been looking out for this girl. 19? 19?
yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy work. I mean,
Who's, yeah.